touch my hair if you value your life. Don't you dare, I'll tell your wife. She doesn't think you mean any harm. There's something up your sleeve, and I don't mean your arm. Don't touch my hair. Don't you dare. You think it's funny to tousle my coif. But I'm telling you, sonny, keep your grubby hands off. Keep your digits where I can see them. Mister, don't you be rude. Be you a man of faith or a heathen. Touch my tresses and you'll be screwed. And not in a good way. Don't touch my hair, dude. My hairstyle, you love it. Don't you mess with my gel. Thou shalt not covet, lest thou wear a comb over in hell. Don't you dare touch my hair. Not if you value your life. I will tell your wife, believe me, she will. Thank you. You are phlegmatic, a touch asthmatic. You're stuffier than the average guy. You're pale and glaucous. You can be raucous as long as you have your inhaler close by. Your predisposition for sinus conditions doesn't make you a less worthy candidate. Quite the contrary, you're extraordinary. You're precisely the kind of man I date. You're a kerchief-wielding, ascot-wearing, sneeze-guard-using chap. But you're not your health. You've had a wealth of adventures all over the map. You were barred from a bar in Barcelona for bargaining with a barback. You bartered a bar of peppermint bark for a bottle of Bartles and James. You sang for your supper in Singapore, had a talk with Yoko in Tokyo. You strolled through Paris with a parasol in a pair of Saul Bellow shoes. But these days you are phlegmatic and a touch asthmatic, and you are stuffier than the average guy. Though your skin is pale and glaucous, I say, honey, let's get right. just need it. Thank you.
Buy a suitcase, not too big or too small, not too heavy. Make your own place, don't give a fig. Just give your all, you're so ready. It's a jungle, be prepared. You will stumble, you'll get scared. You might get scarred, you'll have bad days, but you'll go far, you're on your way. Take care of yourself, you can't be too safe. Always ask for help and pray for grace. And make sure you have fun along the way. When you're down, trust that it's a phase, and phases pass. Life will be a gas again. A good friend, don't sell your soul. Trust your instincts, you are your home. Buy a suitcase, make your own place. Buy a suitcase and pray. For grace.
There must be a place where I can be left alone and have ample space. Shouldn't have to stay at home. Why the constant reminders? Ooh, I've no significant other. Can't I buy 3 ring binders, index cards, and a cheap plunger? But no, it's couples just as I'm about to escape this hell in the shopping plaza. Over the PA I hear couples skate. I should have stayed at my casa because it's couples night at Dollar Tree. Couples night, their double axles sicken me. Couples night at Dollar Tree. Woe is me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Kate Howard, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of 20 Question Tuesdays. I'm Jeff Plankenhorn. That's me. And I'm a singer-songwriter from Austin, Texas. And right now I'm up in Canada, waiting out pandemic with my Canadian family and my wife's fabulous Canadian family. And we've been up here since March of 2020. And hopefully we'll be heading back and forth soon like we always do. But early on in the pandemic, for those who don't know about this show, I flipped on my camera one day and I just started taking questions. And all sorts of beautiful, beautiful people started showing up. And it was kind of like a workshop, but there were musicians and guitar players and producers and agents and people who just love music asking super, super fun questions. Well, Sheila Steele over at Austin Music TV asked if I would put this on the channel, and I said, "Wow, it's cool. I'd love to." So I got this fancy app where I can spread it out to multiple platforms and all those kind of things, like Austin Music TV, like AustinCityJams.com, plus my Facebook and my Twitch and my YouTube pages. And I saw a little button at the bottom with a plus sign and a little person, and I said, "Ooh, I can invite guests," which is so much more interesting. Randy mentioned that he had to turn the sound level up. I hope you guys can hear okay. I turned up a little bit myself, but I don't want it to distort. But this, technology, what are you going to do? All sorts of great people showing up in the chat right now, and that's the thing about 20 Question Tuesdays is it's your questions that I really, really love and that make the show happen. And it's just the coolest thing ever. Your questions are much more interesting and just like kind of beautiful. And it's just been wonderful. So a couple of little housekeeping things before we bring on our guest for this week. Let's see. Thanks everybody who tuned in last night to my show From Here to There. It was a really, really special one. I do them on Monday nights. I'm not gigging yet, and I see a lot of my friends going back to socially distant gigs. I'm still up in Canada, so I can't. So it's my way to stay connected to everybody, and it means the world to me that you show up for these gigs and are helping me kind of, help me pay for groceries and things like that. So thank you for that. But it's also really cool because you bring in great requests, and it's always so humbling, and I always feel more connected, so it means a lot to me. So, let's see. Also, I have a new single coming out on Friday. I'm really, really bad at self-promotion, so I have been told to put this link right here into the restream, and I'm just going to put it up for 1 second here. Friday, there's going to be a thing on Twangville tomorrow, premiering this song, and it features The Resentments, and I wrote it with Miles Zuniga, and so I really hope that you guys will go pre-save it, and then on Friday you can buy it, and it'll just show up in you don't have to buy it, it'll just show up in your streaming platform or whatever. You could buy it if you want to. So thanks for that. But let's get back to Kate Howard. And boy, I got a whole bunch of great questions in here too. I hope I have time to write them down. You guys got to give me these questions before the show. Anyway, I will try to mad write them while I'm talking with Kate. But I love it that there's so many great questions and so many people here already. So without further ado, we're going to welcome Kate Howard. Hi, Kate.
Hello, how are you?
I'm really,
So
really
good
good.
to see you.
Our good friend Kathy McCarty is here, and she's already asking some fun questions, and she's not afraid of using all caps, which
No.
I appreciate at my age. And nobody respects a shrinking violet anyway. You are so right, and I love that. Hi, Danielle. I see you're here too. So Kate Howard is my guest, everybody, and I got a little later on in the show. I'm gonna get something ready right now. I know that a little later on in the show, we are going to world premiere a video from your new album right here on this show.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited too, so I wanted to make sure that that was ready to go. And everybody who's watching online, feel free to share this. Since I didn't write all these questions down, and I want to jump right into them because I love everybody's questions way more than mine, I'm going to go and scroll through here, and I see our friend Shawnee Kilgore is here. Shawnee, I'm going to have to... what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to ask another question first, and then it's going to go right into yours. But we're going to jump right in. So not a lot of people know that you have been not just a songwriter, but a participant more than once in the O. Henry Pun-Off. And
Yes.
first, could you just tell me just real quick, what is the O. Henry Pun-Off? And how many times have you been in it? And when was the last time you participated? That's for our good friend Joanna. So just a little bit.
Hi, Joanna. Okay. Hi, Joanna. I'm so glad you tuned in. I'm going to try and look at the camera. So it's weird. Yeah. Anyway, the O. Henry Pun-Off is an annual competition that typically takes place at the O. Henry Museum, which is downtown. And O. Henry, of course, the short story writer who he lived in Austin for a time. I think he might have been in debtor's prison before he moved here. Anyway, he was known for the, mad turn of phrase. So every year at the O. Henry House Museum in the backyard, they'll put on this pun-off. And there are two different competitions. There's there's one where you prepare like an essay or a song that has to be between 1.5 and 2 minutes, and it can either be a Shaggy Dog story where there's a big build-up and then a payoff at the end, or it can be one that's just riddled with puns.
Oh, okay. So just like massive, quick,
Right.
Pun-off.
And exactly. And then the other is the actual pun-off, which is a head-to-head competition where they'll give you a topic and you have 5 seconds to come up with a pun on that topic. And it could be anywhere from like world religions to geography to metaphysics to just anything. And I stink at that.
Is it a bit? It's almost like a rap battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a little bit of I'm moving. Apparently, Randy. Does everybody else hear me? Okay, Randy's having trouble because he says Kate is much louder than Plank. I'm moving this thing right up here, buddy. Okay. But yeah, it's almost like a rap battle in that you mess with each other a little bit.
Oh God, do they ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did this one where it was when not even in the pun-off part, in the punniest of show, which is what I participate in, you have to be really careful what topics you choose. You have to choose something that's broad enough that anybody could get it, but also something that hasn't been done to death.
Right.
And so I chose one which I thought was good, which was kind of a mashup of celebrity names and dog breeds. So like Brad Pitt, Bull, and Gwyneth Paltrovian response. It was really, really bad. But as I was leaving the stage, one of the hosts turned to me and just said, "Bitch."
But you gotta get it. You have to get it. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Not everybody
Exactly.
gets it. That's what
Right.
Wiley always says. The problem with irony is not everybody gets it. But
Yeah.
I love that. And
Absolutely.
so, when was the last time that you participated, and how many times have you done it?
I think I've done it either 6 or 7 times.
Wow, you
And
are fearless, is what I have to say
well,
about you.
thank you, but that's so not true.
Why
I'm just,
not?
well, I have the fear and
Not
I
everybody
do it
can do that.
anyway. I have the fear and I do it anyway. It's
Oh,
not
I'm
that
sorry.
I'm
Okay.
fearless,
Okay. I
you know.
appreciate that for sure. Yeah,
And
you
the
conquer
last,
your fear by doing it.
exactly. Same with singing.
Mm.
Same with singing. And 2020, they did a virtual version and I participated in that. And I was really, really happy with what I did. I actually started a little sideline. Barbara Nesbitt suggested that I do this called Puns for Hire, where
Really?
somebody could give me a topic, and then I could write a song using puns related to that topic. So I did
Oh,
one
that's
for
a
Steve.
brilliant idea.
Yeah. So I started a Facebook page called Puns for Hire, and I posted that.
Tell
Oh,
me what it is.
Henry.
I'm going to put facebook.com/puns for hire.
Yes. Uh
Okay,
huh.
good. Now it's in there. Everybody can check it out at their leisure.
And so that. Thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no, we got to. That's part
And
of the show. Shameless promotion
and
is what I'm all about for my friends, and, you're one of them.
grand. Thank
Whether you
you.
like it or not, you're in that club. So.
Ah, hot diggity dog. um. So yeah, I posted that video of my 2020 entry. The problem was that there were a lot of people who competed who were a lot more tech savvy than I, and
Uh-huh.
who also took advantage of the fact that it was virtual. And so they had a lot. Um, they had their puns highlighted on the bottom.
Oh man! So
And
they went a little
they
bit kind
did.
of kind of like this right here. They kind of did this kind of thing.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
I see.
And if I had done that, I would
Sounds
have
like you came
done
to a
better.
gunfight with you came to a gunfight with a knife,
Exactly.
and it didn't matter
Have
how
you been
sharp the blade
watching
was.
have you been listening to Steve Hofstetter? That's something that he
No,
says. Yeah.
no, but okay. Okay. I like the. So, okay,
Yeah.
I gotta ask. Oh, did you say when was the last time you participated?
2020.
Okay, so that was well, obviously. Duh. Sorry, great interviewer there. I want to
Oh,
make
come
sure I get
on now.
everybody's questions because I love everybody's questions, and Joanna is one of our returning champions. So I always like to get in. She has great questions too. Shawnee, our friend Shawnee Kilgore, master singer songwriter. Well, I shouldn't say master because that makes people uncomfortable. But Shawnee, I'm such a fan of your work. She asks, "Is there a pun you are most proud of? Like, is there one pun where you like, oh, I nailed it? What was one of your favorites? It might be hard. It's kind of like picking your own favorite song. It's difficult, but do you have
Right.
one that you're like, you know what? I don't care if anybody likes that or not because I think it's brilliant, or it's funny,
Um I'm going to
or
have to
some of
think
your
about
favorites even.
I'm going to
Okay.
have to think about that and get back to it. Just the way that my brain works, it's hard for me to just call up things like that,
It's true
you
because
know.
you rattle them off in shows when they happen kind of naturally.
Mhm.
I see it happen when you come and you sit in with like the Purgatory Players and something pops out and you're just kind of like, oh man, she just nailed it. And
Uh-huh.
we've always kind of loved that because we try but we just let the bad jokes fly in a very resentment style. You come through with the stuff that kind of makes people think a little bit, and they're laughing, and they're going, wait a second, did she say that? That kind of thing. And
Right.
and you kind of outclass us that way, but we need it.
Wow.
We need it. It helps us not get above our raisin, for another good
Oh,
phrase.
for Pete's sake.
Okay,
Um,
go ahead.
so I'm trying to remember the exact pun, but there's this, well, Find the Bastards is a song of mine that has a couple of bastards hidden in the song. And the first line is, um, he wanted to learn the guitar. All he could play was bass, tardy for his own birth. So it's
Aha,
bass tard.
Bastardi. Yeah.
Yes. And then the other one is, um, he went trout fishing in Canada. Was, let's see, dry were the lakes. Let's see. Oh, caught him a bass, tarred and feathered it. So that
All
was
right,
the other hidden one.
that's working hard, and for people to
Yes.
catch it.
Yeah, exactly.
know.
They have to look for the pun. Like that's how I introduced the song is they
Yeah.
have to find
Look
the
for
bastards. But there's a fart joke in that song that nobody gets.
Oh, please
And
enlighten us. I love a good fart
and
joke.
I'm trying to remember just how it uh I'll have to set it aside and come back to it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We'll come back. No. Like I said, a lot of this is stuff that I see you kind of improvise, and a
Right.
certain situation will bring it to you, and that's part of the thing. But you have been able to successfully take some of that improvisation into your writing, and that's why so much of your stuff has like true wit, and just really enjoyable wit that I love about your songs. Our friend Kathy McCarty says, "Save master for your elders. It makes us feel better about being old farts." It's really interesting. I kind of subscribe to the fact that if somebody says I'm giving a master class, there's a really good chance they're not a master. And I really believe that. I mean, I think that it's really kind of a Zen thing. It's like like or it's really like a Buddha thing. I'm not the Buddha, you're the Buddha. Those are the people that I personally want to look up to and stuff. Now, if you're actually on master class and you're Herbie Hancock or you're Saint Vincent
Right.
or
David
whoever,
Sedaris.
then sure, then it's cool because somebody else called you a master.
Yeah.
But if you call yourself a master, there's a really good chance that you are not a master. And that it's like this is just a way for you to make a little extra buck. That's my take on it. But I will say brilliant, about certain people if I really believe they're kind of up there. And Shawnee and Kathy, you're both people that inspire me that way. Okay, so sorry for the butt kisses in the middle of your show, Kate. You too.
No
I have
problem.
a great question. I have a really, really great question I love from Craig. And Craig and April over at the ranch over East of LaGrange. East of LaGrange? Kind of like near Gonzales, where my little dog Alice was rescued from. They have this beautiful ranch out there. And Craig asks, have you ever played with someone that you were such a fan of that you had trouble doing it? And I have. I've definitely had people where it was like, okay, they even put me in the backing band and I'm used to this and da-da-da-da-da. And like, I've done it, okay, well, who cares? Who's Ronnie Dunn? Whatever. He's using a teleprompter in his ear and, I don't care about these things, big whoop. Emmylou Harris. I got shook.
Of course.
And thankfully I got through it okay. And I had to play pedal steel on one song and Telly on the next, and they were classic songs. And that, You know, so many other.
Wow.
Maren Morris, Steve Earle, you know, playing the backing band for the Texas Songwriter Hall of Fame. I got to play with lots of good people for a couple songs. But
Hmm.
Emmylou Harris, man, that was. And I get shook around some of my friends that are quote unquote contemporaries just because I find them so brilliant. I was really shook to play around Scrappy for a long time because he was kind of my hero. And then ending
Hmm.
up in a band with him, it's taken 10 years for me to get comfortable and start writing songs with him. How about you?
Um, Purgatory Players.
Really?
Seriously,
Really? Because you're such
every
a like
single time.
we're always so glad to have you. For those who don't know, that's our pseudo gospelish brunch with Sela and John Green and Scrappy, Judd Newcomb and myself, and we raise money for the food bank. And the second half, we always get guests up, and Kate and
Hmm.
Shawnee and Kathy and all sorts of people come and play a song with us and bring in new songs. But
Yeah.
you're one of our absolute favorites, and you always get like ravenous attention and applause, and people love it. But I
Well,
never knew.
thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that story I told a few days ago on Facebook about when I brought a poster over to Strange Brew and I was shaking, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we all
I
love you
mean,
so much. Well, goes to show you.
yeah, you never know.
You really
Um,
don't.
yeah. I mean, and John D.
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. I can't believe left him out. He's, of course, a
and,
purgatory player.
you know, and I mean, and Sela and John and just the whole crew. Individually, you're also remarkable, and then together it's just mind blowing, and it just
Yeah.
here's the thing about me and music is that I was a fan for so long before I became a musician. And I was 50 before I wrote my first song.
It's incredible.
And so I have a lifetime of fandom, you know, and then to be able to be in a song game with Tony Scalzo and Miles and
Yeah.
Miles Zuniga and Gary Newcomb and Kevin McKinney, who started the whole thing, Julia Malanta, just real heavy hitters.
Hmm.
And to just to press send each week on those
Humbling.
songs was the bravest thing that I'd done to that point. Because I didn't even play an instrument. I was
Yeah.
sending in a cappella songs.
Oh, so awesome, Kate.
And
It's really inspiring. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, and Tony was just begging me to learn the guitar. He's like, "Please, we've got to have something to hang this on to." So I
Because he
tried
loved
to
it.
get.
Because he really dug it.
Mm,
I
well,
think.
I saw it differently, but
Mm,
that's the stories we tell ourselves. But yeah, I struggled with the guitar just because I was having such difficulty with my left hand, which is how I was making chords. The ukulele was much better, you know, and everything's easier now that I've had the surgery.
right.
So um,
And we're talking by the way about something that you're open about, and I'm not really outing you about this stuff. You're very very open about it, which is a point of courage and a point of for a lot of people. And you've been definitely I don't want to use the word inspirational. I think that's a little comes off with a cheese connotation, but damn it, inspirational. And it also leads me to a question from our good friend Debbie Stanley. I promise I did not plant these people. They just happen to be
yes,
friends, which happens a
right.
lot on
Hi,
this show. But
Debbie.
Debbie asks, regarding taking voluntary brain surgery, which is another thing that you can mention if you like. But she wants to know: would you please tell us how dystonia has been an influence on your musical career, and could you just mention a little bit that in any way that you feel comfortable about it?
Sure. So, for those who don't know, dystonia is a neurological movement disorder. So, the brain sends signals to the body, um, telling the muscles to tighten up, and then they spasm and they twist into uncomfortable and sometimes painful postures. And it just, the body starts to twist in on itself. And from time to time you'll just lose control of your limbs, you know. My arms would just go flailing sometimes when I'd have an episode. But I had this surgery, deep brain stimulation surgery, in December of 2019. And the thumbnail sketch of that is there are electrodes in my brain now, and they're connected to a neurostimulator, which once voltage is sent to the stimulator, which happens from home here every 3 days, um, I have straightened up considerably.
Oh yeah.
It's really stunning. And as far as how it's
Influenced
what
music in your career.
influenced my music career, um, I've been thinking about this a lot lately because, like you, I've been watching as my friends start booking gigs and festivals and, thinking about touring and stuff. And I have to be really mindful of the fact that, yes, I'm a musician, and yes, I'm really prolific. I've written, close to 350 songs in the past 7 years. Um, but I have to always consider my health first.
Of course.
And um, so I've booked things, but just like maybe 3 or 4 a month on a good month. That's what I'll do because I just can't afford to stress my system,
No.
you know. So, and the way I see it is the reason that I wanted to record this album
That comes
is,
out May 14th, by the way, and we're going to premiere a
yes,
video.
and it's called The Best Medicine. And I can tell you a little bit about why I decided on that title.
Absolutely. This all ties
But
in.
the reason that I decided to record an album, at first it was so that I could have, like a calling card, a very expensive business card, you know. But honestly, I don't have children and I wanted to leave a legacy.
I
And
love it.
so now I have.
Well,
And
we got to.
it's
No,
right
please go
here.
ahead.
Whoops.
Yay!
Right there.
Oh, it looks great. I can't wait to get one. I know you sent me one, but it's
Yeah.
coming through the Canada Post, so it'll be a minute.
Okay.
Not that they're ever slow. They're just as great as the U.S. Postal Service when they're not being messed up by DeJoy. Sorry, it's just the way it is. But it will get here, and I'm excited. But we got to listen at the beginning to 3 of the songs from it. And is Notes from a Friend also on it as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that's really
Yes,
great.
it
So we got that
is.
one studio track with you and Pat Byrne, and I was fortunate enough that you asked me to play slide on that. It's
Yeah.
really beautiful duet with you and Pat Byrne, who's also doing really great right now, friend of the show.
Yes.
And while we're right about here and we're right about halfway through, I'm going to say a couple of things. First of all, if you want to find out about Kate, well, here, let's do this first. We take tips on the show, and we really appreciate. I split the tips with my guest. It's kind of how I keep the wheels rolling around here. I just like to make sure that at the end of the show, so many of us aren't working yet, like Kate, myself, and to keep the wheels rolling, maybe you get a tank of gas. So if you can. Help us keep the wheels rolling here. We also have Harvey Simon, who's a major contributor who has helped out for the days when we don't have good tips. So thank you, Harvey. Bless you for that. And we always keep Joy's memory around as well. And then on top of that, I really, really, really want you to be able to find out. Here's some information about Kate. And while I leave this up, as long as it doesn't get in the way of the video, I would like to premiere this video now. So could we talk a little bit about Pinata Girl and the video before we play it for everybody? Because we're doing a world premiere right here of the video.
Yes. Before we do, I just want to say that I dedicated the album to Joy.
Oh, you did? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And to my sister Anna.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because Anna was raised Catholic, Joy was Jewish, and yet they had so much in common in terms of their love of music and their love of me. And that's why I dedicated it to them. So,
beautiful.
Thank you. Pinata Girl is, it was kind of it marked a turning point in my relationship with the Purgatory Players. I remember playing it one week and Scrappy said, "Oh, Jeff's birthday is next week. You gotta play it for him." And, yeah. And that
it's funny because, sorry, this always makes me interrupt, and I don't mean to. It's part of the
medium. Oh, no problem.
So apologies in advance. Well, Kathy mentioned other Purgatory Players besides John D., like Rich Brotherton and Matt Giles, who aren't original members, but that we call when one of us is gone, who are incredible. Right. So I'm gone one week, and then Scrappy says to you, hey, you got to play that again when Jeff comes back.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And the thing that Scrappy adds to this is just phenomenal. He's just such a cut up.
The first time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's so perfect.
Yes. So and Sela made this video. She made the video originally based on the early mixes, the rough mixes. But then I did overdubs, and so we had to reshoot it. So this is the new video that we made mostly in her clubhouse.
Yeah.
And we had...
Yes, that clubhouse. I love that.
It's great. It's great. So I'll just let it speak for itself.
Perfect. Oh, yeah, and most of us know that it comes from a live performance, but we went back and just kind of touched up a few things to make it feel like a little bit more produced. You went back and did some stuff, which everybody else does anyway, but they're not honest as you. And I mean, half the time when you hear a lot, I can't tell you how many recordings I've gone in and they've said, "Hey, will you play that guitar for so and so because it was just a little off," and I'm like, yeah.
Right.
So I'll ghost for them and stuff. But we were very honest and said, yeah, well, we went back and we did some cool overdubs and added some stuff to the live performance. But world premiere of the video, synced to the right stuff. Here we go, everybody. Hang on. Here comes Pinata Girl.
Breakfast she had a spinach frittata. Cobb salad she devoured at noon. Her dinner the innards of her neighbor's pinata that she stole by the light of the moon. Oh, that she stole by the light of the moon. Pinata Girl knows sweets will give you a cavity. Pinata Girl knows every sign shows it's a short road to depravity. Every sign shows. So red hot were those boxes of red hots. Each bit of honey so bittersweet. She took candy from tiny tots. Would she ever be able to sleep? just too strong. Reading labels, what a pain. A candy heist is 12 kinds of wrong. And the road to hell is paved with sugar cane. The road to hell is paved with sugar cane. Pinata girl knows sweets will give you a cavity. Pinata girl knows. Every sign shows it's a short road to depravity. Every sign shows. Pinata girl knows. Pinata girl knows.
Since the day she was born.
Pinata girl knows. Pinata girl knows.
She has a weakness for Twizzlers.
Pinata girl knows. Pinata girl knows.
Don't trust her for a minute.
Pinata girl knows. Pinata girl knows. Thank you.
And as you mentioned, that incredible video was by our friend and friend of the show, Sela. And
Yes.
Sela is making all sorts of really she right when she was getting started, she had done a couple of videos for herself, but she made my bird out on 9th video. And,
Yes.
Oh my gosh, man! And I was so thrilled by it. If you are looking for a lyric video, or you are looking for something that's got some really cool animation in it, she's easy to find. Seela. Maybe Danielle could put some info in there in the chat. And once again, we are back. We are on Austin Music TV with Kate Howard, who's got an album coming out on May 14th. That was the world premiere of her Pinata Girl song. So good. And we got, man, the chat is going wild right now.
Oh, I'm
Debbie
so
Stanley
glad.
and Hunt and Barbara and Heather and Shawnee and
Hi,
Lady
Hunt.
B and Diane and all these great people. I am Spike Steele Music on PayPal, and we split the tips, and I deal with it so nobody has to deal with taxes. So that's yes. Thank you, Kathy, for offering that up. It goes to Planksta, and then it's called Spike Steele Music, which is I play steel, and Spike was my grandpa's nickname for me. So
Oh, cool.
I guess I just needed a name. Okay, so. Oh, thank you, Danielle. That's really great. So that if anybody, like we said, that video is great, and Sela's doing such great work. You know, I think she might have done one from. I think she might have done one for Allie Holder recently too.
Yes.
Maybe.
She did a whole series of them.
Oh God, it's so good, and she did so many from her album.
Yes.
That were just like kind of released with every single and stuff like that. So we're lucky to know cool people, aren't we? That are creative and do things other than music so well.
Right. Well, she did 2 videos for me. She did that one and My Kind of Chat.
Right.
And then Shawnee did one for Dealer Takes All. That's fantastic. And then Kevin Lance did 2. Cold Front and Perils of Shopping.
Oh,
and they're all just they're extraordinary. They're like short films.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, it doesn't have to be super high budget. It has to be creative, because people aren't really going to search out videos right now like they did in our MTV generation. But there's just something great about it. And it also is really, really great because when you share video and you're trying to promote yourself, the algorithms on everything from Facebook to YouTube, of course YouTube, but Facebook and the other ones, they prefer videos if they're going to send to more stuff. And so for all of you people out there who are singer-songwriters like us, sorry, that's my term, if you are, know that like if you put up something that's just words, maybe it'll go to 10 people. If you put up something with words and a good picture, maybe it'll go to 100. If you put up a video,
Mm-hmm.
there's a much better chance that it'll go to 1,000 people. Without
Right.
you putting any money behind it. And so a really, really beautiful video like that. And also, when you're a fan of Kate Howard, it really means a lot that you share the video, and it really means a lot that you like the video. Same thing if you're on Spotify. If you save and you hit the
Yes.
heart, just a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
plays doesn't mean near as much as comments and likes
Right.
and things like that. So please, if you dig stuff and you dig musicians and you really want to help, and you don't have the bread and you're just listening to it, at least do that. Make some playlists and share some music with people as well. It's there's my
Exactly.
my
Exactly.
PSA for the day.
Well, thank you very much. This
Might
just
as
in.
well. Hey, our
You
friend.
know,
Oh, go ahead.
there's also TikTok, which
Yeah.
I plan to do snippets and put on TikTok. And Spotify, I think, has a video element as well.
Well, and so does
So,
Twitter now. But I heard from a friend of mine who does social media that TikTok was just beat out last month, and I could be wrong on this, by Reels from Instagram. So Instagram
oh,
Reels beat out TikTok, and it's just proof positive that we unfortunately have to do everything. Because
yeah.
you never know
Mm-hmm.
what's going to hit, and you never know what's going to change the next week. The next week it's going to be something completely different. I also think that you would be particularly well suited for Cameo because your puns and your pun writing and songs. Cameo is where we once had a friend who got COVID, a friend of the Resentments, and we knew that this gal was a huge Gilbert Gottfried fan.
Mm,
And so we sent in to Cameo and had Gilbert Gottfried send her a message, once she was just right on the edge of it, like a feel better. But it was also,
mm-hmm.
well, in true Gilbert Gottfried style, it was just almost repulsively dirty and funny, you know? And,
Right.
it was hilarious. So a lot of people that do it. I know Hayes Carl is. Kathy McCarty says Cameo will not accept me. Oh wow!
Whoa.
That's
What is
ridiculous.
wrong with
Yeah,
them?
they're missing out on some percentages of your money. Um,
Yeah.
she's cracking me up in the comments right now. I'm
Yes,
sorry, I'm watching the comments too
likewise.
much. Well,
Likewise.
let's get back because we do have some more questions that I want to make sure we get to. A friend of the show, Dan Jason, who has Dan YouTube. I've mentioned this on a couple of times this show. Dan is a person who goes to shows with a little camera and a little setup that sounds pretty darn good from just sitting in the row of the audience. And I knew him first from coming to the Purgatory Players, but then I
Mm-hmm.
would see him everywhere at all kinds of
Yeah.
shows. He
Mm-hmm.
has literally hundreds, maybe thousands by now. I'll
Yeah.
give you an example of videos that you can find on Dan YouTube. Last week I had Patrice Pike on, and I remember
Mm-hmm.
saying, we did get to play this one benefit, and I hired you, or I mean, I not hired. She did it for free, of course. It was a benefit for I think it was Hurricane Sandy, and I had a backing band, and she just showed up, and man, it was a blast. And then all of a sudden, I was like, man, I wish people could enjoy that. And all of a sudden, Dan Jason just put the whole 3 songs just boom right up in the chat. And so
Wow.
I went back and watched him after the show, and I got to relive that moment because of Dan. And I know he has
Wow.
tons. He says 5K.
5,000.
5K. He's got 5,000 videos. And these are
Wow.
like Austin musicians of every ilk and every type of music and stuff like that. And I know that I've gone back and watched a bunch of your videos and shared a bunch of videos for like benefits and other things, like for the Purgatory
Mm-hmm.
Players doing Sims in the food bank. But Dan has a great question. He says, where has Kate lived, worked, and studied prior to coming to Austin? Just to get a little bit of back, story on you, Kate.
Okay. Let's see. I was born in Savannah, Georgia, and I lived there for
How
8.
nice.
Yes, it is. People say I can't detect a Southern accent, and I say, well, I can put it on. if you
I
ask
believe you can.
nicely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. So I went to college in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
I
What were
also
you
has
studying there at the time?
English lit,
Yeah, no
but
wonder you had the gift.
I also took enough art and art history that I could have minored in art history.
Hmm.
So,
That
um,
was something that I'd think that most of the people in my family would say, "Oh, useless degrees." You know.
right, exactly, exactly.
Oh, you didn't want to get a job, is what they'd say to us.
Yeah, Betty Sue said she got a degree in poetry. She said being a musician was a pay hike for her.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
very true, Betty Sue. Man, I gotta have her on the show too. Anyway,
yeah.
so from there,
So I spent um, let's see, 4.5 months in Greece after college,
hmm,
and my sister lived there, and I spent, I guess, about a year there all told over the course of like 5 different visits. And so I lived in this tiny village in Crete called Moklos, and it's so small that in the wintertime, I spent one winter there, and there were only 30 people living there that winter. That's how small it was.
hmm. So you were primed for the pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely,
We were too
absolutely.
coming up here because I mean, there's 30,000 people in Campbell River, but when we come up here, we're always like outside and by ourselves and like on some lake, and it's just the two of us. Like, I remember going to uh, a place called Beaver Lodge Lands with my wife once, and there was acres and acres and acres, hundreds of acres, and we were going to go for a walk, and we pulled up, and my wife went, "Aw," and I said, "What?" And she goes, "Somebody's here," and I was like, "What?" And she's like, "I don't know." And I was like, "Baby, this is like 100 acres." And she's like, I know." It was
Oh,
hilarious, you
that's
know.
so funny.
Yeah, so we were kind of prepared for it. Not to interrupt. Ooh, and I just want to say this too. Kathy McCarty said, "It seems to be implied that I should go to YouTube and like the video. I shall go." You mentioned that you were going to put the Pinata Girl video up after the show, so we will be
Right.
putting up. You will be putting that up on YouTube, and to your
Yes.
heart's content, people can like, share, etc. But we were lucky to have
Yeah.
it premiered here.
Yes. And
Okay, so after Greece, or in Greece, or
so,
wherever.
well, in Greece, what was funny was that I actually found out after I moved to Austin. I moved to Austin in '87.
Hmm.
Okay. So when I moved to Austin, I'd been here a few years, and there was this radio personality named John Erler,
Mm-hmm.
who also is quite a punter and has been on Jeopardy. He does Master
Oh wow.
Pancake Theater.
Ooh.
He's taught classics at Texas State University.
It's got some
Um,
highbrow wit.
yes. And he was on his radio show, and he was, which was called Elk Mating Ritual, um,
Of course it
because he
was.
had one of those elk mating albums that he'd gotten from a radio station decades ago, playing in the background the whole time.
I love him.
So, anyway, he was talking on his show one time about um, having just gotten back from this trip to Greece. And he starts describing this place where he was living. My sister Maggie, who had also been to Moklos, called me up and said, "You are not going to believe this. I think John Erler was in Moklos." And sure enough, the college where he went had sent a bunch of archaeology students to Moklos, where the first pottery had been discovered, and they had a dig there. And there was one night when he stayed up all night protecting the artifacts that they'd unearthed, and my niece Maggie was there with him
That's incredible.
and just sat up all night. Yeah, it was unbelievable. I ended up calling him and asking him. I just blew his mind. I said, "So you've been to Moklos?" And he said, because he didn't name the village.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how our friendship started.
You know, it's crazy. The only time I've ever heard anything like that is on my trips to Montana. I get I get cornered by really, really wonderful people who spend a lot of time alone doing digs for prehistoric things in Montana, and they love to chat about it. And I'm a chatty Cathy myself, and they can wear me out talking about
Wow.
prehistoric bones and such. But I've never heard of a story of a dig like that, you know, kind of like through another person. I think that's insanely fascinating, and what a great way to start a friendship, too.
Yeah.
With that connection to another place.
For sure.
It's pretty neat.
Okay, so where else? So, as far as where I have lived, that pretty much covers it. And
Yeah, you
where
pretty much
I've
got
worked.
us to, yeah, well, and studied, you know, worked and studied. You got us to Austin, and
Yeah.
And as we're getting close, I want to make sure we get to the other questions. It's not unless you have
Yes.
something that's burning about that you want to talk about. Any
Oh,
burning
well,
desire
I
to
was
say any of the other stuff?
Well, when I first moved here, I worked as a nanny for 5 kids for 7 years.
Yeah.
And then I was writing plays and poetry at that time. And when I quit that job, that's when my first play, we produced it over at Hyde Park Theater, The Blue Daiquiri, it was called. And then I went into tech writing, and I did that for about 20 years. So.
And here
The
we
end.
are. The new album comes out on May 14th.
Yes.
And we premiered the video. You can go back and watch it here on any of my socials there, the YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And Twitch will keep it up for a week, but the other ones will stay up forever. And we're talking with Kate Howard, and we're getting closer, but I want to make sure. Kathy McCarty, friend of the show, also said, when are you going to do a show of your drawings? Which we haven't talked about at all.
Yeah. My drawings.
I always like to say drawings too.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
So I don't have a plan for that.
No plan yet. Okay. Well, she
No
might be somebody
plan
to
yet.
talk to because she does such things, and maybe
Yes.
this is just a little connection that happened from the show, you know? And,
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, I know you guys are already fans of each other and friends of each other and all that kind of stuff, but...
Yes. And I'm honored. I'm so honored that she's a fan of my music and my art. I really it was at Sela's suggestion that I did this month of sketches daily. And I didn't even know that I could do that.
Isn't that wonderful? Man, I love that. I love hearing that. I really... And tell me if you feel the same. I encourage musicians to do things outside of music. It will only help.
Mm-hmm.
It will only help. You know, I don't care if it's like, you know, you become a gardener or you become a cook. These are artistic things. And when you find something like sketches to kind of take you out, you come back somewhat refreshed. And they all kind of help each other in beautiful ways. I'm not artistic with the visuals, and I always need a lot of help with it. But I do have other things that, you know, really, really, really help me come back to music with a fresh attitude. And I want to have other things to write about. How do you feel like your drawing, has it kind of helped to have that little space, or has it just helped because it's just another outlet, or?
Well, I mean, I do other artwork. I do assemblage and collage, and I have a room that's a music and art room. I just haven't taken the time to go in there and play around. But in one of the videos that Sela made, Cabbage Alley,
You know, when you hear Cabbage Alley, we're getting close. Go ahead though.
yeah. So in another video that Sela made for me, she used um, like her version of one of my assemblage pieces as one of the characters in the video.
I love
But
that.
yeah, it definitely, you get in a different kind of groove. You know, with music, when you're writing or playing and you get into a groove and you lose time,
Yep.
that definitely happens with me in the
While you're
art
drawing.
studio.
I love to hear
With,
that.
yeah, for sure.
Do you know that that happens with my wife when she's gardening? And
Wow.
I find it so absolutely fascinating because I would talk to her about, "Hey, I need to go someplace where I can shut down the inner voice." And she's like, "Oh, I do that all the time." She's like, "That happens. Like, I'm not thinking about anything." She's like, "I've done this for."
Mm-hmm.
She's a horticulturalist. This isn't somebody who took a weekend master gardening class, which is great,
Right.
but this is somebody that went to
Mm-hmm.
school for it for years. She loses time constantly when she's outside working on, and it's her art, and it's really inspiring for me. And I dig it so much to hear that you're into the drawing, and when somebody tells me they're into something regarding that. Well, the sound of Cabbage Alley means we're getting close. We'll stay on once we get off Austin Music TV, who I should thank one more time. Austin Music TV, Channel 16 in Austin. This has been 20 Question Tuesdays with Kate, my guest Kate Howard. I'm Jeff Plankenhorn. If you didn't know, it's written below. Those of you online, we will stay on to make sure we get the last of the questions, and so we can also give you some information on how to find out more about Kate Howard. But I know that you can go right here. These are the good links for Kate's website and for her Facebook, and find about the
Mm-hmm.
new album that's coming out, The Best Medicine, that comes out on May 14th. And then thanks everybody again, as always, for the tips. We really appreciate them. I like to be able to just make sure that I get Kate, a good meal, a good tank of gas, maybe half a bag of groceries. Who knows? Whatever you can do, it really helps keep the wheels on. But before we go, I got to ask you the
Mm-hmm.
only question that I ask people, and you know what it is. The only question
Yes.
I ask is, what is your guilty pleasure music? And if you're not guilty, that's fine, but you know what I mean. And everybody knows that I'm secretly a Fanalo, and that I don't have any records, but I wake up, like if I accidentally hear Copacabana, I get a warm, fuzzy feeling because my mom used to play it when I was a kid, or Can't
Mm-hmm.
Smile Without You. Someday I'm going to cover Can't Smile Without You. I can't. It's too good. I don't care if it's entertainment, but some people say the Spice Girls, some people say System of a
Mm-hmm.
Down, some people say punk, some people say smooth jazz.
Mm-hmm.
What's your guilty pleasure music?
Share.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Is there a particular era, or is it all things Cher?
It's not all things share,
Okay.
but it's definitely like gypsies, tramps, and thieves, and that
Okay.
that era when she and Sonny had the TV show. I used to watch that when I was a kid, and just absolutely loved her. And she's great comically,
Oh, I know. She has
you
great timing.
know.
She was kind of like, I heard her talking about it recently, and she said she was on an interview, maybe on Stephen Colbert or something like that,
Uh
and
huh.
she said, "Yeah, everybody thought I was a bitch. I was just the straight person. I was the straight man."
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like, "So people thought I was
Exactly.
a bitch because I was a woman, but I was just playing it straight, and he was the comedy."
Right.
But her timing was impeccable.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely.
Another
Um.
thing that I didn't know until that interview was that Sonny was like 27 and she was like 16 when he found her
Yeah.
and they got together. So
Yeah.
he'd be in jail right now.
Yeah. No
Rest your
kidding.
soul, Sonny. It was a different time
Yes.
and a different state
Yes.
where they
Oh
found each
my
other.
goodness.
But we're glad that, because she didn't ever think about being anything like that, and he
Right.
kind of discovered her I don't know, working in an ice cream shop or something ridiculous like that. We're
Huh.
thinking of Cher, mega, brilliant actress,
Yeah.
and from Silkwood to Moonstruck to all the music to you
Hmm.
know, man, that's a good one. That's a really really good one. So what do you
Thank
love?
you.
Uh, oh, we're off the air. So we are now officially just on. I talked right through the ending of the television
That's
show.
okay.
Now that we are online only with everybody who is still here, we can do what is called calls to action. So I would like
Hmm.
everybody here right now to make sure you go to Kate's Facebook page and you go and you like things and you go to her YouTube page now and subscribe. I think it was Heather Heather said this. This is really, really smart. Check this out. Okay? You can go to subscribe to her YouTube now, so the moment the video goes live, you get it. Heather, you are
Yeah,
brilliant, and you are
she
correct.
is.
These are the things that you can do to make it work. Make it not
Yeah.
so hard on us.
Thanks, Heather.
That was really, really smart
And
and absolutely true.
yeah, I'm so grateful to everybody who's watching. It's just been delightful to see these comments. I'm sorry I haven't, said all of your names or anything, but just
We do
know
the best we
that
can.
each
Yeah.
and every one of you, I'm just so grateful that you're here hanging out.
Yeah.
And I do want to talk about the live stream before we get
Let's
off
do it.
the
Let's
air.
do that. Oh, I'm so
Um,
sorry we didn't do that on the television. I should have asked.
that's okay. But as far as Cher is concerned, back to that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's something about the intersection of music and comedy that she sort of embodied for me. Same with Carol Burnett
Oh,
and Bette
yeah.
Midler to a degree.
Yeah.
Her Broadway show with the mermaid get up and the wheelchairs, it
Yeah.
was wild. And Bernadette Peters,
Bernadette for sure.
um,
Yeah.
and a woman named Betty Hutton, who had this great, I think it was like the 50s that she was popular, when she was popular. There's a song called Sewing Machine that she does that
Oh, I gotta
is
look it up.
hilarious. So
Betty
definitely
Hutton.
look that up. Betty Hutton.
All right, I'm on it. It's on my listen list. Betty Hutton. Go on.
And let's see. Oh, another thing that I just found out yesterday, Mark Maron did an interview with Nancy Wilson from Heart.
Oh yeah.
And I had thought that releasing my debut record at 57, that I might be one of the older ones to do such a
To
thing.
do a debut.
Yeah, but nope. Nancy Wilson is releasing her first solo record at age 67.
Ugh, that's awesome.
It's
But you have to admit,
wonderful.
she's had a full career of music
Yeah,
as well.
that's true.
She didn't start writing at 50,
No,
but
no.
it's still awesome. And so
Yeah,
are you.
I think it's very cool. Thank you. Um,
Let's talk about the live
so
stream
the
because I
live
didn't get to
stream,
that on television.
yeah, it is going to be on Friday, May 14th, sorry, May 14th at 6 o'clock
Central.
yes, Central.
I have
And
faith
it'll
in
be
people
on,
over, yeah.
oh,
We all
okay,
do.
thank you. Yes.
Friends of the show are all over the place these days.
So, Facebook.com/Kate Howard Music is where it will be broadcast. We're actually taping it on Wednesday and broadcasting it on Friday. So I'll be on the stream, and there'll be 4 video premieres on that night. Yeah. And I was so happy to be able to commission these from musician artists like Sela and Shawnee and Kevin Lance. And they all did amazing work. I'm so proud to have this and have these pieces in my arsenal, as it were. And over the next few months, I'll release, I'll release the other ones that I'm premiering. So it'll probably be like one or two a month over the next few months. So the live stream is going to be recorded at the Saxon Pub,
Great.
and Carrie and Hunter are recording it for us. And the band is members of Matinko, so Kat Clemens and Josh Flowers and Micah Matinko. And then Brandon Lane, who plays with Carrie, is going to play percussion. And Chris Beale will be a featured singer. He's going to sing Notes from a Friend.
Nice.
And possibly he'll sing another song with me. So we'll see.
Sounds like an all-star cast for an all-star show. It's going to be wonderful. And that's Friday, May 14th. Live from the Saxon Pub on Facebook. Well, live recorded from the Saxon Pub and then pushed out through the interwebs.
Exactly.
And you'll be online talking with everybody and chatting and all those kind of things.
That's the deal.
Kate, it's been lovely having you here and doing this with you. It's been really, really cool. Thanks for always being a friend of the show, too. I didn't even mention that you generally bring some of the most interesting questions, and I always love having you here. But it was great to finally have you on the show, and I'm glad we waited until you had something really important to promote, because I could have had you on here 15 times, and we'd have tons of stuff to talk about, and we'd have a blast. So thank you so much for doing it. Stay on here.
Oh, you're welcome. You bet.
We'll say goodbye to everybody online. Everybody, big clap emojis, and thanks for the tips for myself and Kate, but big clap emojis and such for Kate Howard.
Thank you. Bye.